Now let's switch over to Heiko and Carsten. You want to introduce Heiko, right?
Absolutely. Congratulations to Kato and Heiko. And we also do have a Heiko. So welcome, Heiko, here. Great to have you with Caeli Wind. So not sure if you knew that kind of talking energy, circularity, energy ecosystem, circularity in the energy ecosystem. Caeli Wind is somehow driving the energy transition in a fast-forward way, trying to help, finding slots for your wind facility much faster than the original 7 to 8 years that it takes. So quite an ambition and undertaking. And it's my pleasure to basically introduce Heiko, who is the founder and the CEO of Caeli Wind. He has quite some background. CEO today. He has been Chief Digital Officer of a consulting company called LBD, founder Brent 7, Head of Business Development at Zipgate, and a strategy consultant in the energy supplier and telco industry. He has a background from the University of Witten-Herdecke in economics, and from the famous University of St. Gallen, also in economics. So I think quite well equipped for this not so easy undertaking. Having said that, let's talk energy transition fast forward. And Heiko, the stage is yours. It's our pleasure to welcome you here on stage.
Thank you very much, Carsten, and a warm welcome to everyone listening. I'm sitting in Berlin right now. It's a very lovely late summer day, so I'm quite happy right now. I arrived a couple of minutes ago, so quite just in time, let's say. And I'm happy to I take you a little bit on the journey of Caeli that we had so far. And of course, I have prepared some slides that I will share with you now. And just give me a second to just share my screen here with you. And if I see the presentation, then we should start. So I hope everyone sees my desktop now.
Yes.
As Carsten already mentioned before, I will guide you a little bit through our journey and tell you some words about the energy transition in Germany and in Europe. It's quite an interesting market right now, in my view. I've joined the energy market 20 years ago. It was never my first goal to be in the energy industry, but I stuck there, and I'm happy to now maybe help a little bit bringing the energy transition a little bit faster to the market. Okay, why do we talk about the energy transition, and why is there a marketplace needed? I'm sure all of you are familiar with these kind of curves that you see from time to time in social media channels, where you can see that wind and solar are growing at a fast pace, and the fossil plants are shut down, and the nuclear is, well, going the way like it's shown in the graph. So what you can learn right now within the last years, what happened with the renewable, it's fast, it's cheap, and it's growing like hell. So you might ask yourself, so now, okay, so then everything is basically fine. What do we have to do now? Well, the problem is, and Carsten already mentioned it in his very nice introduction, that it's pretty annoying to build renewable energies. And it's basically the same story in every country across the globe, with some minor countries that are a little bit more faster. But when you look on the German market, I found 3 years ago, when I decided to establish Caeli with my co-founder Ben. So I've done my research, and I asked myself, okay, how much time does it take from finding a site that might be suitable for wind and actually start building a plant there? And this is 7 to 8 years. And this is basically the thing that we are facing right now in Germany. That it's pretty long, I would say. And if we want to proper decarbonize ourselves, then we should speed up things here a little bit. So what's the reason for that? And to answer that question, I'll have to show you maybe a little bit from bird's eye view how the whole renewable energy market works. And you have basically 4 participants in this markets, starting from the left top. You have the turbine manufacturers. You may have heard of the company Vestas or Siemens or GE. So these are basically the guys who build the turbines. Then, of course, like in every project, you have a financier, like a bank, like Santander or whoever it is. And then you have these interesting parties, which are called the project developers, like the guys who plan the park, who have the risk of building the park. And you have at the end the landowner who is providing his land so that a park can be built there. And what's quite interesting is the connection between the project developers and the landowners. And that is the thing that got me curious, because again, I was wondering why does it take so long? So when you dig a little bit deeper, then you learn that you have lots and lots of landowners in Germany and in every country. Like in Germany, for example, it's 2 to 3 million landowners who have maybe a potential wind site. And on the other side, you have these project developers, utilities, so all the people who are interested in building wind parks. And these are basically, a few companies. It's not 4 as shown on the graph here, but it's not a big market. It's 200 to 300 companies, not more than that. So what's happening right now is that whenever a project developer finds a spot of land, and 99% of all land in Germany is not suitable for wind. So when he finds this 1% spot, then he goes to the landowner and asks him to give him a lease contract for his land to build a park there. And that's basically the same thing that every developer does and every utility does. And then you have like a lot of parties doing the exact same work, assessing a site and asking the landowner, the poor farmer, if he wants to give them a lease contract. And this is basically done in a very classical, I would call it old school way, because the developers have their sales forces. They go to the farmer, they drink a beer with him and ask him, hey, come on, give me a lease contract. And the poor farmer is not aware if this is a good deal or a bad deal, or if he should build a wind turbine on his site or not. So this is, a little bit old school, I would say. The second thing that I realized is there's a famous picture in Germany, you might have seen it, is that you have to hand over lots and lots of printed out files to the authorities to get a building permit. So you realize that, and it's not quite, it's like every authority, I would say, they are not very good digitalized. So, but what was interesting to me is it's not only the authorities that are poorly digitalized, but the project developers as well. And that was, got me again curious, because we are talking about a young industry. I mean, we're talking about 20 to 30 years that this industry is evolving. And I asked myself, okay, why is it so purely digitalized? Why is done so much work by hand? It's basically because they earned lots and lots of money in the last decades, and they never had the need to properly digitalize themselves. So that were 2 of my main observations. And when Ben and I mean, he's doing energy business since 30 years, since 20 years. So we thought, okay, we have to solve this. And maybe it's a good idea to develop a marketplace where developers and landowners can meet and make a lease contract, and nobody has to bring the sales forces to the poor farmers, but the farmers by themselves just bring their sites on the platform. And if it's interesting for the developer, he makes a bid throughout the platform. So that was the idea. So the interesting part right now is, okay, could do basically everyone. I mean, you could use ImmoScout in Germany for doing that. But the problem is it's really, really difficult to assess a site if the site is suitable for wind. So therefore, we built, I mean, of course, like everyone, an AI stack. This AI stack is capable of assessing a land very, very automatically. I've shown this here in the screencast. This is our backend system. So you have here basically a map of Germany. What you see here is that you choose a spot of land. The landowner gives us a shapefile, or we draw with him a polygon within our system. And then by drawing the polygon and just clicking 2 mouse clicks, which turbine do I want to use, what default setup do I want to have, I have basically built a virtual wind park. And this wind park is not only good designed in a physical way, but also has a business plan behind it and everything else that is needed to build a wind park. So this is done completely automatically by our system. And whenever you're interested, or you may have a spot of land in some parts of Germany, and you're curious if it's possible to build a wind park here, I invite you to have a check with our experts, and then we can look at it. So, and this is pretty new to the market, let's say. So by doing this, we're speeding things up. And to give you a figure how we are speeding things up, and whenever we have closed the transaction throughout the platform, we ask the developer utility, okay, how much time would it have cost you to go to this point if you have done it the classical way? And they say in the mean, it's 1.5 years. And by using the platform, we squeeze this amount of time to 10 weeks. So this is, I think for everyone who wants to have fast a site that is good for wind turbines, then it does make sense to go on our platform. So how does the platform itself work? I have shown you the expert backend system. But of course, you can imagine when you are not aware of the energy business or the wind business, you have to make things a little bit more easier. So therefore, we designed our site the way that you just go on the website, enter your address, then you just pinpoint your site, click on a button, make an assessment, and then within a few seconds, you get your results. So in this case, you have 3 green dots, which means that you basically hit the jackpot. Very rare, but happens from time to time. And if this happens, then we would be happy to get in contact with you. So this is the entry point for a farmer or someone who has a forest or whatever. And this is working pretty well, and it's using the complete software stack that you have seen in this fast-forward screencast movie that I've shown you before. So this is easy if you're a site owner, but it is as well easy if you're a developer. Then you log into the marketplace, and then you see all these little tiles here. You click on a tile, which is basically a site, and then you can have a quick teaser information, how much wind is there, what internal rate of return has this site, what has Caeli checked before. So we basically check everything that could be a red flag, like beginning from the Federal Armed Forces, checking if there are big birds on the site or whatever could happen. And if everything is fine, then we put the sites on the marketplace, and then you can just say, okay, I'm interested in this site. And if you are, then we open a data room for you, and you do your due diligence on it. So that's basically the main work that the developer utility has to do. And these data rooms are pretty well equipped. More than 80 documents are in there, like everything that we have checked, documentation, communication with the authorities, with the Federal Armed Forces is in the data room. And at the end, when you have read some documents, then you might say, okay, that's interesting for me, and I want to make a bid. And you do this by just going on the website again, using a form, filling in here the most important parts, like how much lease are you willing to pay, but also how ambitious are you regarding the roadmap, building the sites, other special programs involving the community or the landowner itself. So this is everything assessed within the form. And when every participant of the tender has filled out the form and is making his bid, so this of course has a deadline at some point, then the system collects all this information, makes a PDF, sends it to the landowner, and at the end the landowner knows who are the interested bidders and how much money are they willing to pay him. And then in most cases, he invites like 3 to 5 parties and makes some kind of beauty contest with them. So this is the way we do our business. So it's a managed, it's an orchestrated marketplace. It's a lot of work done by us in the background, but it works out pretty well. We started Caeli in January 2022, and in the first year, we developed the software. We assessed a lot of sites for more than 300 new wind turbines. We got in contact with the landowners and asked them if they're interested to put their site on the marketplace. And a lot of them, luckily, have done that. And therefore, we were able to transact a volume of 1.2 gigawatts last year. That's maybe a figure that's a bit difficult to put this in perspective. But it's interesting for you. In the last year, the whole wind energy market in Germany was 3 gigawatts, or let's say 3,000 megawatts. So these were the parks that were built. So when you compare these two figures, what we've done throughout the marketplace and which was done in the whole market, you can see that the platform is relevant. And one of the main reasons why I have done this and leaving my old and also good running business is because it's very intrinsic for me, because I try to help reduce our carbon footprint. So that was one of my main drivers to establish the platform. And if you check how much new wind turbines can be built by doing this and how much faster they can get their grid connection, then you can do your math and you will realize that we saved more or less 4 million tons of carbon dioxide last year, which is a huge amount, and that makes me personally very happy. So that's what we've done in the past. I say our journey has just begun, because what we're doing right now is we are bringing the Caeli business to more countries across Europe. We will enter UK market next year, and we are digitalizing more and more of the old school process that I mentioned before, so that we will hopefully not speed up things for 1.5 years, but maybe the whole journey one day. So that would be my vision. And thanks for listening and having me. And if there are questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, maybe I've catched up a little bit of the agenda so that you can have your break.
Wonderful, Heiko. That's quite an impressive journey Caeli is on. And if I did my math correctly, a 40% market share roughly, at least in Germany with their platform, which is quite impressive also going forward. I mean, just for my understanding, so driving down that from 18 months to 10 weeks, so 2.5 months, that means like the overall process, 7 to 8 years, is shortened to 6 to 7 still. So it's still a relatively long process, but you cut out a major portion of that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's completely correct. Luckily, we had some relief packages from the Green Party and everyone. So therefore, things will speed up anyway. That's good. But it's in my perspective, it still takes too much time. So yeah, there's work to be done.
I hear you, Anna. Do we have any questions from our community?
No, we don't have any unanswered questions as yet. If anyone would like to quickly speak their mind, if they have a question, we have a little bit of time before the break.
Yeah, last chance, because we are aware that we're standing between you and the break.
No, I have one question. So, Heiko, thank you for sharing. And it looks really like a success story. So you just came up with the idea, you found out, you build it, and then it's a success. But we all know there are always some kind of challenges in between you need to overcome, etc. First one is maybe a technical question. have you built this by yourself, everything, the technical platform, including the AI, or have you build it on top of something like a low-code platform or something else? So what is the tech stack behind? And on the other side, what was, from your point of view, maybe the biggest non-technical challenge?
Well, first of all, yeah, it's done by ourselves. So we describe ourselves as a software company. Most of the coding part is done in classical Python language. So whenever you use these geographical analysis tools, it's always Python in what comes to my mind. Yeah, we've done that by ourselves, and I mean, of course, we have some minor software stacks like all these street map stuff and all that are running in the background. But yeah, mainly it's done by our technicians itself. Main obstacles. I mean, when you enter an industry and I mean, that what we're doing is disrupting basically industry. So therefore, there is a lot of fear and also a lot of parties that were very clear when I talked to them 2 years ago, that they said, okay, we know what you're doing there, and we're not interested to help bringing a platform on the market because you bring transparency to the market. We don't like that. And at the end, our margin is smaller because of you, because the landowner gets higher lease contracts by the whole tender system. So therefore, yeah, we had to look which kind of developers are interested in working with us, starting with the young ones, with the interested ones. So these were definitely obstacles that we had. But right now we have liquidity on both sides of the market, so pretty good awareness on the landowner side, but also more than 70 developers and utilities all across Europe who work on the platform, so that's good.
Very good, fantastic. And Heiko, I've just been reading through the thread here in our community. Thanks, Anna, for moderating that. So Dennis has even a hint for you, because Quebec is going to continue investing in wind energy. Do you want a connection to our Ministry of Economy, Innovation and Energy? So he is sending you that contact, and maybe
great. Thank you for that.
Further grow in Quebec, maybe.
Yeah, the problem with Canada is the grid is not like in Germany, like very well established, but yeah, you have these small grids all across the country or all across the major cities. But nevertheless, pretty interested, and thanks for sharing and connecting. Happy to do that.
Wonderful.